Black history is American history, global history, and hair care remain an important form of self-expression in Black culture. 12 News' Marie Minifield introduces us to a local Black hair care innovator and company that blends the transformative power of faith and hair care.
With limited options at the time of its inception, the idea budded as a product out of necessity, looking for solutions to nurture her hair that would go on to help others.
The lack of effective products, but then also I started because I wanted to create a brand that was more holistic in terms of products and encouragement, uplifting, that motivation. And so I just combined the two together, and that's what inspired me to start Strands of Faith.
Using her advanced education and background in biology, business, and clinical research, she handcrafted the premium non-toxic formula herself.
Just learning about ingredients and the toxic ingredients that were in hair products just really gave me that motivation, even more so to create products that were didn't have the fillers, that didn't have the toxic ingredients that are most times linked to fibroid causing ingredients, endocrine hormone disruptors.
Like her faith, Ameka's vision and brand continued to grow.
It's just so amazing to be able to use my hands that God blessed me with, and then the creative ideas that He has given me to be able to create something from just a seed, like that mustard seed, and have that big grandiose vision. And so we actually started in my kitchen, cooking products in my kitchen.
Now the company is operating out of the Faith House, a 3,000-foot warehouse facility in Pearl. But even though they are shipping products across the nation, Coleman says there were still many challenges along the way.
I started off very scrappy, having to bootstrap and to fund my way. And so when it comes to, receiving like loans, the stats show that we receive it at a much lower rate than our counterparts. And so one particular instance for me, I remember when I went to get a loan to support the business operations, and one particular bank was like, okay, we'll give you this loan if you put up your house.
From kinks to curls, Strands of Faith is prioritizing textured hair, breaking down the barriers of hair type texturism discrimination in health and other spaces.
It makes something that was not inclusive more inclusive now. Textured hair patients in hospitals, you know how you go to the hospital and sometimes they may not have hair care products for you to meet your needs. And so now we have products in the hospital that cater to a variety of patients while they're in the hospital that gives them a sense of relief, that makes them feel seen.
Strands of Faith is not only a product, but an experience, celebrating beauty across all textures.
Like our brand, we want our customers and people who experience us to not just experience us for our hair products, but to have an experience, to become the best version of themselves, to believe in themselves, and to keep the faith at all times, no matter how tough life circumstances get.
Reporting in Pearl, Marie Minifield, 12 News.
Let's share a snapshot of Black-owned businesses, not only in the Mid-State, but across the nation.
While challenges persist, these businesses have seen growth in some areas.
We are actually located in Pearl, Mississippi. We have about a 3,000 square foot facility.
A huge space this former clinical researcher and her team used to formulate handcrafted hair products.
I wanted to create a brand that was more holistic in terms of products and encouragement. I just combined the two together, and that's what inspired me to start Strands of Faith.
Faith tested when it came to funding.
When you look at funding and the stats that are against most Black business owners when it comes to receiving like loans, the stats show that we receive it at a much lower rate than our counterparts.
So Ameka Coleman used her savings and some grant money for her startup. She also relied heavily on social media to boost sales, something experts say is crucial for new business owners.
Oh, no question. I would say not only TikTok, but I would also say LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of your traditional types of social media platforms that give entrepreneurs a competitive landscape to get their message out.
Dr. Kenneth Harris is president of the National Business League, the first and oldest trade association for Black-owned businesses in the U.S.
Black businesses are growing 3 times the national rate. as it being more than 3.6 million Black-owned businesses here in the United States of America.
In the Mid-State, Leland Nelson is the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central PA. He's also a business owner and gives this advice to fellow entrepreneurs.
I'm telling them to build their own ecosystem. It's important to have the ecosystem we build, so just on top of contracting, you have a community like here, being at this restaurant that we support as we go along our day.
Eateries like Men in the Kitchen Restaurant and Lounge. Owners Kyle Moore and Justin Coleman recently opened a Harrisburg location. They also own another restaurant in York. Coleman shared the challenges they face getting loans.
That's something that we're kind of fighting through right now. We've been able to secure some private investors, but getting loans from banks and credit unions has really been a challenge for us.
So they relied on private investors. In New Jersey, a Black-owned business that opened has seen steady growth over the last 3 years.
It's 2022, got to work, opened that summer, and really, we've just grown from there.
Head brewer Dorian Saunders owns Wim's Brewing in Atco.
One of the tenants, trying to keep it local, trying to support the economy while we're doing it. Friends, family, local artists. That's a high level, but
Dorian's father, Lance, oversees sales and distribution.
I've received a lot of fanfare in the sense that folks, they do want to be supportive of us from our community.
While both love the idea of supporting Black-owned businesses,
but I don't want you to support me and this business just because we're Black-owned. I want you to support us because you also believe in the product. You enjoy the product.
when it comes to keeping these small businesses out of the red, customer loyalty is key. Coleman says you may think your favorite business owner is successful because they have visibility, but in order to keep them going, they need your support.